These trails don't even have any street lights. Who would tell you not to run outside in these conditions? Hello and welcome to my Norwegian Ultra training series, where I've given myself 4 months to take my 50k PB down from 7 hours 22 to sub 6:30. Can it be done? I don't know, but that's what we're here to find out. Thanks for joining me, and here's what happened in week 1.
So on Monday I got my strength training done like a good boy before I went out for my run.
About to start the first run of the plan, week 1. Hopefully the nerves and excitement don't push the heart rate through the roof. Performance condition -5 according to Garmin. It's a good start. These trails don't even have any street lights. I shall be writing a strongly worded letter to my MP if I get home. So apart from being dark and wet and barely above freezing, I think these are the perfect conditions for my first ever Norwegian sub-threshold session. 3 by 8 minutes. Let's see how it goes. Just back from that first sub-threshold session. Really enjoyed it. When you first set off, you think that sticking in a kind of 8 or 9 beats heart rate range is going to be fairly straightforward, and then you get out there into real life. It's dark, traffic everywhere, raining, cold, loads of roads to cross, hills up and down all over the place, and yeah, it all gets a bit more chaotic than you would imagine. And the route was okay, apart from the third rep happened to fall just at the start of a really big hill, so actually had to walk for about 20 seconds during one of the intervals, which I guess you don't do very often. But yeah, just needed to get the heart rate back in range and then carried on. So fairly successful all in all. Right, 45-minute easy run tonight. It's actually about 4 Celsius out there, but that wind makes it feel like about -25. I'm fairly sure. Absolutely freezing. Got the big gloves, so I'm not going to take the camera with me today because it's a bit harder to operate with those on. So yeah, should get this easy one done simply enough. So it turns out I made a bit of an error with the shoe choice for tonight's run. I was expecting the little trail sections to be a bit more frozen solid than they actually were. Decided to wear my max cushioned More V4s for a change tonight, and although they were bright yellow and white when I set off, that's not quite the case anymore.
Thursday was my second and final strength session of the week. Another 40-minute easy run on the Friday.
So welcome to Friday's 40-minute easy run. Definitely got the winter conditions today. Snow and slush everywhere. It's 3 Celsius and we've had some rain since the snow. So it's all soggy and mushy. And the trails definitely muddy as well as snowy. So it's all going on. That's the heart rate alert. Start walking again or trudging through the slush. I've chosen the mud claws for this run. They're the best ones I've got for the snow and mud. I've got the really long graphene lugs, well spaced out. So yeah, you don't sink too far before they find a grip usually. Haven't hit the deck yet anyway. Looks like some of the local kids are out sledging down the hill over there. This one's definitely slower than usual. The heart rate definitely climbs faster when you're having to make those little micro adjustments with each tiny slip and slide each time your foot hits the floor. Makes you work a bit harder. Good fun though, and the mud claws are doing really well. So Saturday, and it's the first long run of the plan today. I need to do between 70 and 75 minutes at an easy effort. We have the added difficulty of the ground being frozen. We had snow yesterday, it started to melt slightly, and then it froze overnight, so the conditions are treacherous. I managed to dry out the mud claws after yesterday's run, so I've got those on. They're the only ones I trust in these conditions really, although they're not great on roads. So yeah, usually with a 70-minute run I'd do my usual 10k local loop on the trails that I always like, but these conditions are going to slow me down. So I've made a decision on the route, which does include one really key point of interest, which I'll go into a bit later. So today's route begins by taking me up the same farm track. You may have seen me on dozens of times before, and this is my quickest way to get onto the 5 Pits trail, which is the local groomed trails where there used to be railway lines. So always nice to get on there. You get to jog on some relatively easy trails with not too many road crossings, so always tend to head for that. But today, rather than doing the 10k loop or the 5k loop that I tend to do from here, I'm going to begin the first almost 4 kilometers on the 10k route. Then I'm going to make a diversion somewhere I've never run before. I got a very helpful comment on my previous video from a chap called Joe, who says he lives in the same village as me, and he's found somewhere just over in Homewood, the next village, where there's a nice flat loop on the roads that you can run around. It's on an industrial estate with a kind of truck stop, cafe and shop in the middle of it, and places to park lorries, stuff like that. And there's a road with pavement on most of it that loops around the whole estate, and it's, having looked on Komoot since getting Joe's helpful message, I can see that it's about between 900 meters and a kilometer, depending if you're, I guess, on the inside pavement or the outside. So almost a kilometer loop, I think, with 0 elevation from the whole thing. Doesn't go up or down at all. So what more could I ask for? So big thanks to Joe for mentioning that one. I'm going to go and have my first go on it today. The plan is to run the 4 kilometers to that location, do a loop, see what it's like, and then 4 kilometers back. And I imagine that's going to take me close to 70 minutes, if not beyond, in these conditions. So it'd be nice to try that out for the first time. Ideally I wouldn't have done it in the mud claws, they're not great on pavement, but they're the best ones I've got for frozen snowy pavement, so we'll see how we go. Just need to get there in one piece first. So yeah, let's get there, have a go on the loop. Hopefully that's going to be really useful, where I just need to take the hills out of the equation now and again, perhaps for a sub-threshold session, perhaps for an occasional easy run. I can do what I want with it really if it's good. So yeah, let's go and try it out, and I'll let you know what I think. As I pass through this farm, I can see all my frozen footprints from yesterday's run. The very clear triangular lugs from the mud claws. some black ice on this road here. So I'm not being shy about walking when I need to. Not in a rush today. Yeah, the plan says 70 to 75 minutes easy. So that's more of a guideline at this point. Getting to explore the loop and get back safely. That'll be perfect. Okay, I think I'm almost there now. I always continue straight on at this bit, but judging by the map, if I turn right it should get me to the industrial park or estate. There's one of each. Never know which one's which. So this is where I usually go. Straight ahead, follow the 5 Pits trail. From what I can gather, this is a little shortcut to the industrial bit. So I'll head down here and I should pop out onto the almost 1k loop. I can give it a go. Right, here we are then. Been running for 34 minutes to get here, trudging through the snow and ice a lot of the time. Conditions look as you would expect, snowy and icy. There are pavements with snow on, roads with ice on, so I'll just have to figure out which is best. I'll head round the loop, just check that the Insta camera on my head is working, so I should be able to get some point of view footage, show you around what may be my new favoured training arena. Let's see.
So I was just trying to figure out which was the best bit to run on here. You can see there's pavement on the left and the right, and the road was a little bit icy, so it's kind of a case of crunching through the thick frozen snow or slipping about on the road. See on the right, that's the kind of lorry park that's got a little shop and a cafe. I think you can do your washing, laundry outside there if you need to, so that'll be handy. There's lots of businesses around, mainly the outside of this industrial park. So there are little kind of driveway crossings to be done as you're running around here, on the outside anyway. But I barely saw any traffic while I was here, you know, maybe one lorry and one car. I'm about to have to cross the road here to kind of carry on clockwise around the loop, so it's possible that running on the inside footpath would mean far less road crossings and driveway crossings, so I'll have to try that out at some point. As you can see, the snow was really thick on the pavement there, so I could see the sun had melted some of the ice a bit on this road section. Decided to give that a go, but it looks like being a decent place to run when the conditions are right, but these conditions are probably as bad as it's going to get, unless we get even more snow and ice. See, we're just round the other side of the lorry park now. not somewhere I ever thought to come before. Yeah, it's literally just a business park with a lorry park in the middle, and I go past it. I drive past the roundabout that's just behind us to get to and from work 3 times a week, and I run on a route that kind of passes by that roundabout. I cross the road just near it to get from one part of the 5 pits to the next, but never ever thought of actually coming onto this estate and running round it. Just having a bit of a dabble with the path on the outer part of the park now. I'm not sure which would be best. I guess you'd get slightly more distance on the outer path, but I think there's more of these little driveway roads to cross, which is fine if it's quiet and there's barely any traffic. But at least there's the option, so once I get used to this place and I get to see it when it's all clear, yeah, I'll be able to make the most of it. So the 7 dwarves were in a hot tub when Doc started feeling sleepy. So Sleepy got out. And I think we're just about getting back to the start now. I'm keeping an eye out for that public footpath sign.
There we go then, 1 lap done. Didn't quite catch the exact distance, but I was testing out the inside footpath, the outside footpath, the road itself, mainly where the sun had melted the ice and it wasn't just pure black ice. But yeah, it seems perfect. This time of day, practically no traffic. I think I saw 1 vehicle the whole time. Yeah, choices to run left, right on the road. It's quite wide and it's one way, so hopefully that helps with safety. And yeah, today's conditions obviously not ideal. Can't wait to see it when it's dry and clear. That should be spot on. I'm liking it. I believe you can park your car at the side of the road in a lot of places where there aren't double yellow lines, so if I choose not to run here, I can drive and do a session, whatever I need to. So yeah, really happy I found that. Thanks, Joe. Definitely felt flat, and I'll be back. There are a lot of very sensible people who would tell you not to run outside in these conditions, and they're right. You should definitely listen to them. Yeah, it's risky, there's no doubt. The only reason I'm here today is because I'm wearing the mud claws that I have tried and tested in all different winter conditions, and I trust them to keep me upright. I'm approaching 6 years as a runner this April, and not once have I slipped or tripped and hit the deck. Yeah, I've had a few little mini slides where your foot goes out in the mud and you catch yourself. And one time, about 3 years ago, I was running on some overgrown field path, barely used, and didn't realise that the grass was hiding a drop off to one side. My foot went down and I twisted my ankle, but yeah, I never tripped or slipped in all those almost 6 years, so I'm fairly confident in my ability to stay upright, and I'm taking care, running with a form that I know helps, and yeah, so far so good. there we go then, that's that run done. Looks like I guessed pretty well how long that route would take me this morning in those conditions. The run was about 74 minutes, so well inside the range of what I wanted to do today. And that is going to be the final run of week 1. Taking a rest day on the Sunday. It's my first week back into proper training since the knee trouble, so don't want to overdo things at this point. And with regards to how this run went, couldn't have gone much better really, conditions notwithstanding. Ran to the location I wanted to explore, did that loop, found it to be just what I'm looking for, so that's going to make a big difference to the plans going forward and to how well I can implement this Norwegian Singles approach into my ultra training. So I should have a nice flat loop that I can use whenever that's appropriate, so that's a big win. Right, so we're here at the end of the first week of the training plan. Saturday, all the runs are done, got a nice rest day to look forward to on the Sunday. So generally I think this first week has gone as well as it could have done really. There's still some practicing to do with the pacings and the efforts, but I think I got them pretty much spot on. The heart rate tended to stay below the zone I was aiming for. The average was usually a good few beats under, so I'm taking that as a good sign that I'm definitely not overdoing it. I'm getting used to the kind of run-walk nature of the hillier runs. I tend to recognise on my regular routes now where I'm likely going to need to slow down and walk for a little bit and where I can carry on from there. So yeah, it's all learning and getting used to it, but yeah, I've actually enjoyed it. A lot of people might be thinking, you know, where you're having to walk quite a bit, perhaps that's going to be some of the less enjoyable aspects of it, because, you know, I'm a runner trying to train for a race where I'm hoping to be running a lot, but I am also training for an ultra where I'll definitely be walking some serious parts of it. So yeah, I think it's all good. I see it as a challenge. It's a kind of a mental challenge to deal with that, where you're not perhaps going as fast as you might want to, but I can actually deal with that. I'm quite used to taking things easy on the easy runs. I did a lot of that when I did my 5k training block in the summer, just making sure the effort was where it was supposed to be on those easier days and the recovery runs, to leave you in better condition for the longer and faster runs that also make up part of the plan. So generally, I think this week's gone well. Really happy to have found, thanks to Joe's comment, that industrial estate that I can run around almost a kilometre per loop, so it's not like I'm going to be on a hamster wheel or going around the cricket pitch, which I wouldn't have fancied at all. So yeah, practically a kilometre for a lap, and doesn't seem to be much traffic there early on a Saturday morning for one thing, so I'll see what it's like the rest of the time, but that's a breakthrough for me really. I can either drive there, it's just the next village, or run there. We've seen today it's about half an hour's easy jog. So yeah, all looking good so far at this point in week 1. So looking ahead to week 2, can't wait for that one. It is going to ramp up ever so slightly from week 1. A couple of the easy runs are going to be maybe 5 minutes longer than they have been this week, and the sub-threshold session's going to have a bit more sub-threshold work in it, so that's ramping up as well. And Saturday, if all goes to plan, I should be visiting a park run that I've not done before. I need to figure out what kind of effort I'm going to give that, probably treat it as a kind of constant sub-threshold effort and just see what kind of time I end up with based on that. So that'll be interesting to see. And yeah, other than that, it looks like just another full week of training based on the Norwegian Singles method. Plenty of easy running in there, and hopefully the weather conditions pick up a bit, because the snow and ice gets old very quickly. But yeah, fingers crossed, things pick up and I'll be able to get out there, use my new loop to do some proper running on, and yeah, not just slipping and sliding the whole time. Thanks for watching week 1's training vlog. Week 2's coming up, obviously in a week's time, so please join me then. Thanks again for following along, guys, and I'll see you soon.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.